Okay, I think I have a problem. A slight obsession with eyeshadow palettes. So I'm not going to show myself on camera because I look hideous. I've been to the gym and I've just had my face waxed, so my face is bright red. But I'm going to be going through this massive pile of eyeshadow palettes and show you the inside. So if you want to see that, then please just keep on watching. So I'm going to start off with the I Heart Revolution chocolate palettes, and this is the chocolate truffle palette. Those are all the boxes in the corner, by the way, at the top of my bed, so just ignore them if you can see them. And this is what it, oh, the sheet just fell out. That's the camera. This is what it looks like on the inside. Very pink and red toned. So I'm not going to be getting rid of any of this, by the way. Just letting you see it. And I don't know what to do with it now. Put it in the drawer. Next from My Heart Revolution is the Fruit and Nut palette. And this is what it looks like on the inside. I don't know why I keep these little slipper things. So that's this one on the inside, the Fruit and Nut one. Very purple and got a wee bit of blue there. This is the Strawberry Cheesecake palette, and I actually really love this palette. It's full of pinks, which is right up my street. So that's what that one looks like on the inside. Next is the Slime palette, and this was one of their Halloween chocolate palette editions. And it looks like this on the inside. I'm trying to show you upright, but without the camera right now. So that's what it looks like on the inside. Look at that radioactive shade. I don't think it says pigmented. You know, I'm not going to swatch anything, but you know. This one's an oldie but a goodie. This is the Mint Chocolate palette. So it's got the old layout, and I really love this yellow shade, and that's a really nice brown blue duochrome shade. This one's the Creme Brulee palette. This is what this one looks like on the inside. Very pretty. Next is the Lemon Drizzle palette. And this is what this one looks like on the inside. This is like every neutral lover's perfect eyeshadow palette, except these two shades, Fluffy and Tangy, they look exactly the same on the eye and in the pan. So Revolution, I don't know why, but you wasted two shades. This one is another I Heart Revolution chocolate palette, which is quite new. So it's got what they call little hundreds and thousands or whatever they're called on the front. Sprinkles. It's a Sprinkles palette. And this one's just an all shimmer palette. And this is what it looks like. Next is the Galactic palette, and this one looks like this on the inside. It's got like marble toned. It's got marble. It's got a marble effect on the eyeshadows, and it won't focus. There we go, and that's what this one looks like on the inside. This one, Cosmic Crush, and which other one was it? I think it was Space Queen. They're really nice. Or was it Asterism? I don't know. No, you know what? It was Constellation. Very pretty shades. Not even halfway through with the I Heart Revolution chocolate bar palette yet. This is the Cranberries and Chocolate palette. This one's more wine coloured toned eyeshadows. Just wait for it to focus again. So we've got a nice shimmery pink there, nice wine matte colour there, more purpley mauvey shades here, and a black with some glitter in it, so that's that one. Next we have the Honey palette, and I really love the packaging on this one. It's like clear on the front. Honestly, I feel like with these slips. And this is what this one looks like on the inside again. This is another shimmery palette, an all shimmer palette, so I don't know why they make these. I'd rather have an all matte one, which I do have another all matte chocolate palette, which you could use with this one actually, so. But yeah, this one's really pretty on the inside. So I used this shade when I was practicing using this palette, and and it kind of like hardened up over the top, but you can just use like sellotape to like peel off the top layer and then you're fine underneath again, so I'm not bothered. Next is the Blood palette, and again this was another Halloween palette, and this one's got nice pinks on the inside again. This is what this one looks like on the inside. It's got a nice pink red shimmer, purple pink mattes, deep pink mattes, but actually this Bloodthirsty shade, it's red but it comes across pink on the eye and it's not that pigmented, so only let down of the palette. This palette's pretty new to the I Heart Revolution palette collection or whatever, and this is the Turkish Delight eyeshadow palette. This one has 4 pressed glitters in it, and 5, 6, 7, 8 shimmers. So this is a really pretty palette, but I'm not a fan of pressed glitters in palettes, so I kind of wish they were just shimmers or foils. But apart from that, very nice. And it smells really nice too. It smells of rose water. Next is the Peanut Butter Cup palette, and this came in a Christmas set. And that's what this one looks like on the inside. It's more dark and kind of random. It's got nice oranges up on the top right and pretty gold at the left and a nice yellow, but not one that I've reached for in a while, so sorry if the camera angle keeps moving, but I keep having to walk around the ring light with the camera on it and I accidentally kick the stand. But this is the Nudes palette, and as you can tell this is probably going to have a lot of nudes in it, and if you thought so, you were right. So this is the Nudes palette, and again I'm just waiting for it to focus on the palette. So there we go. We've got like French Girls, Stripped Down, Pillow Talk, just like all neutral shades that you could wear on your eyes every single day. So that's that palette. Next is the Chocolate Cherry palette, and I keep saying next is, I don't know what else to say. Maybe I should just pop it in front of the camera and just say nothing. So this is the Chocolate Cherry palette, and this is what this one looks like on the inside. Again, very pink toned, got a few pops of purple and brown in there, and a nice reddish toned shade there, but I love it. Need to use that one more. Macaroons palette. This one's a blue toned palette. As you can see, it's got a few blues in there. It's got a few different shades of blues, so like Dazzling is like a more navy kind of blue. So it was Finishing Touch, and then Nom Nom, Sweet Treat, more light blues. And then it's got a few pops of neutral colours in there, a few mattes, and a random green. But you know, you could always use this. You could take this wherever, to be honest. It's got everything you could need in it. So yeah. Next up is a favourite for the I Heart Revolution chocolate palette range for everyone and myself. I'm just going to keep this sheet because it's got the names on it. But this is when it had the last layout, and see it like kind of covers up and makes like a hard pan kind of situation here. But this is like really orange palette, as you could tell by the name, and I love these two shades. Absolutely love them. And then these two are like perfect for like the top of your eye, and then maybe like that one or that one for your crease, and then that one for your corner, and you could create a gorgeous orange look. This is the Cotton Candy palette, and I really love this one because my sister got it for me, and it's very, very pretty on the inside. The only downside to this palette is that it only has it only has 3 mattes. But apart from that, the shimmers are absolutely stunning, especially Strawberry. I really, really love that shade Strawberry. So this is Chocolate Elixir palette, and I've kept this because I gave away my Modern Renaissance palette, and this one is a dupe for that. So That's what this one looks like on the inside. You know, you don't have to see that. You all know what the Modern Renaissance looks like. So this is the Red Velvet palette. Again, this came with Peanut Butter Cup in a Christmas set. And that looks like this on the inside. So yeah, this is a pretty versatile palette as well. It's got a really... Hold on, my camera's doing something weird. It's got a really bright pink in there. And last but not least for the chocolate bar range is the cinnamon palette, and my mum got me this for my birthday last year, and this is what this one looks like on the inside. This one smells amazing and it smells like cinnamon and I love it, and it's really good. It's really pigmented. I just simply need to use it more, so I could either use it with the honey palette or the sprinkles palette, so I'm keeping this. I would never get rid of any of my I Heart Revolution chocolate palettes ever. Next I'm just going to keep with the theme with the I Heart Revolution, and I'm just going to go through like the other palettes that I Heart Revolution have, and lemon sheet. I've actually got like a pile of sheets here now. This is the Revel Pooches palette, and I absolutely love the formula of these shimmers. Fetch, Walkies, Woof, Floof, Bestie. If you haven't got this palette, I highly suggest that you give it a try, or at least think about picking it up, because that is just a really nice palette and the shimmers are amazing. You will not regret it. This is the Tasty Pizza palette, and this is like a food themed palette. They've got 6. Actually, I think they've got 7 now because they've just released a peach one and I've already ordered that. Surprise, surprise. But this is what this one looks like on the inside, and again, Neapolitan, slice, marinara, stuffed crust. Beautiful shades. Oh my god, I absolutely love calzone. You know, I absolutely love rose gold shimmers, so love this palette. I've never actually given Saucy enough appreciation. That's a really nice colour too. So yeah, that's what this one looks like. The coffee palette, and as you have probably seen, I did a review on this palette. This palette blew me away. It was really good iced instant roast shades. You know, these formulas are so, sorry, just got my middle finger up, but these shades are amazing. That swatch is no good, but because it's on like the corner of my wrist. So anyway, this palette is really good. I would really highly recommend that you pick this one up. So I also did a review on the popcorn palette. Wasn't a massive fan of this one, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know what it was about this palette, but I wasn't a big fan of Sweet and Salt. I wasn't a fan of the mattes, but it is a nice, it's kind of a random colour story, but it's got a nice shimmer there. Actually, that didn't even work that great either. Okay, truth be told, I was kind of disappointed in this palette, but it's part of the food range, so. Hot Dog palette, I really like this palette. Love the colours. Love the story in this palette. Beautiful. Need not say more. Next is the avocado palette. This one is all green. Actually, that's a lie because it's got blues in there too. But this palette, it's the formula. The formula is really good in these palettes, and I'm really hoping that it will focus before I stop talking about it. But look at that shade Bite. I mean, look at the foil. Revolution, if you ever see this video, please keep on making foiled shades in palettes. Then last but not least, for the food range palettes, is this stunning red purple toned chili palette. Tasty chili palette, yep. And I haven't done a video on this one, but I have sat and tested it out, and it does not disappoint, unlike the popcorn one. But I don't know why the popcorn one didn't work on me. It just didn't. But this one is really, really nice. So yeah. I've just decided to change angle because I wasn't doing my bed any favours for all the palettes looking like that on top of it. So I've just faced you towards my drawers where my eyeshadows are kept. And they are from IKEA, if you're wondering. I'm just going to stick with the Makeup Revolution theme because I think I've run out. No, actually, I still have I Heart Revolution palettes that I've not got into yet. but I'll get to them later. So this is the Sibyl palette from Revolution. This is one of their collabs, and I think Sibyl is a YouTuber. That's what this one looks like on the inside. Very pretty. I really like the mattes. And again, with the shimmers, absolutely stunning. Look at these. These 4 would make a great eye look. Actually, these 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So that's that palette. Next is the Sibyl Night to Night palette. I forgot to mention that previous palette was Day to Day. That was called Day to Day. And this palette I have used in a video, and mixed emotions on this palette. I mean, there's only 2 mattes. These shimmers, I mean, okay, they're pigmented. They do look nice. Okay, I used these in the video, but they're not mattes. They're like semi-mattes. And 2 free pressed glitters. And in this, like I said in the video, it's just, I don't know if you can see that, like, oh, it looks really weird. But it's just like jelly with glitter in it. Like, what even? Where am I meant to use that on? Huh? Never in a makeup palette have I seen that. But it's still pretty. Next is the Carme Make Magic palette with Revolution. This was his second collab. I don't actually own the first one, but oh my god, look at these shimmers on the top row. Like you can tell, I swatched the heck out of this one and this one. I haven't actually used them on the eye, so I've swatched them more than I've used them. I don't think I've actually ever used this palette. That's shocking, like I've bought palettes and I've not even used them yet. Okay, I need to stop. But that's what this one looks like on the inside. Very pretty, very versatile, very cute. And the packaging, gorgeous. Next palette is NAF palette. And I think I bought this palette because of this shade. I used this shade called Mesmeric, and I haven't used it since. It didn't wow me. So I don't know. I would sell this palette if I could, but Depop doesn't allow you to sell used makeup. So if anyone knows how else I could sell this or sell any of my other palettes that I don't want to keep, then please just let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, it's still a pretty palette. I mean, the packaging, you know, she obviously did something very original. Next is Roxy's palette. She's Roxsaurus on YouTube. And this is her palette with Revolution. And look at, these shades are really pretty because they're that like wet, mushy formula from Revolution. It's pretty new. And the map, oh wow, that map's starting to look, oh it's not. Whoop, the camera's fiddly. But I thought that was a matte, it's not, it's a shimmer. I was getting kind of worried it was starting to go off or something, but yeah, it's definitely a shimmer. That's what this palette looks like. Very nice. Well done. The Roxy Colour Burst palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. Very pretty. If you are a fan of Roxsaurus or Roxy on YouTube and you love Makeup Revolution and you love bright colours, I think you should get this palette. Very pigmented as well. Next is Tammy's palette. This is her Tropical Carnival palette. This is again her second collab with Revolution. I've got a story on my Instagram about this palette. I swatched it on my arm because I was bored. My dad does the noisiest things when I'm filming and I hate it. But I swatched this palette out of because I was just doing nothing. And the mattes in this palette are to die for. Like Revolution, this is the best matte formula you've ever made. Tammy, great collab. And also I have a friend here on YouTube called Chelsea. She absolutely loves this shade, and I think that one's called Calypso. So really nice palette, love it. Next is the Rachel Lee palette, and it's like a coral shade on the outside, and it's got It's got a bronzer, well, two bronzers, one's shimmery and one's matte. And it's got a blush and a highlight in here, and then it's got 9 neutral shades for your eyes, and I absolutely love this shade Chi Chi. Absolutely love this shade Goddess, and I don't know why I don't use this one. I mean, I do use it, but I mean, have you seen how many palettes I've got? I mean, I can barely use the ones that I've just bought, let alone the ones I bought years ago. Next is this palette by Petra and Revolution. I bought this palette because I liked how it had 2 sides, and let's face it, anything Revolution releases I buy anyway. And it's really pretty. I mean, see this shade Candy Apple at the bottom here? I tried to use it the other day, and you can't see it. I tried to use it the other day, and it's not very pigmented, like, at all. See, like it's coming off if I press really hard, but it's not coming off, you know, great. So I don't use this palette, but I think there's like a cool tone side and a warm tone side, so Petra did well, you know, nice shades, good palette, not great pigmentation, sorry. So next is the Jack palette. I wonder if it has an actual name. No, just Revolution Jack, and this is what this palette looks like on the inside. I have never actually used this palette. I think I'm going to say that for like every single palette I have. But this one's very pretty. I really love this gold, and it's like, again, that wet formula. So Soph said in her video that when she was reviewing this, that she wished that she had that formula in her palettes. So this is a really pretty palette, and Jack did well on that one too. I'm going to have to speed up a bit because it's going to be a very long video if I don't, and I still have a ton of palettes left. This is the Imagination palette. Very pretty. Bought this, used once. Still very nice. Wow. This palette has seen better days. One of the palettes has broken slightly, but this is the... Oh, bloomin' heck. Oh well. This is Tammy's original palette with Makeup Revolution. This is Tropical Paradise palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. Very pretty. It's got, I love how she considered everyone's skin tone, and she put like a white, a slightly darker transition shade, and like a chestnut colour shade there, and then she's still got like oranges and browns and stuff there. So that's a really nice palette, and I really love this gold, so very nice. Last collab palette that I can see on the bed so far anyway. Actually no, it's not, I can see 2 more. This is Soph's palette, the Extra Spice palette with Revolution, and I think I prefer the first one. See, if they were to put the first one into the layout of this one, I'd probably be more likely to use the first one, but this one's still really pretty, and that 21 shade is really nice, and Infinity is really nice too. So the clasp on this one is broken, it snapped. Yeah, so it doesn't close, but like I said, I think I'd be more attracted to these colours, but in that palette, so I don't use this palette anymore, but nothing wrong with it, not out of date. I mean, it's a bit broken, but I think like everyone's palette is broken if they have this one, so. This is the Jewel Collection, Precious Stone Ruby, the Precious Stone Collection in Ruby. And this is like a similar layout to Carmi's palette, Make Magic, but except that the foils are in the middle, and I love this because it's pink. When I got it, I was really looking forward to doing a review on it, and I never got to it, so 100 palettes later, I still haven't got around to it, but here it is. It's very pretty. Ta-da! This is the Revolution Courage from the Wild Animal palette range. I don't know. It's got animal print on it, you know. Very nice. Very pigmented, I will say. These shades are very pigmented. And the mattes are really good too. You know, I need to use my palettes more. But packaging goals. This is a fairly new eyeshadow palette from Makeup Revolution. This is their colour book in number 4. 4 is my lucky number. Pink's my favourite colour, you know, had to get it. So, This is what this one looks like on the inside. They have a shimmer shade, like a shimmer version of the matte shades, and then the matte version of the shimmer shades. So, and they also have like a little plastic protector. I mean, it's hard to fiddle about with, but so that when it's folded, kind of like the picture palette, it can't transfer shadow onto the opposite side, you know. So, haven't used this palette properly yet, but very pretty. I've just found another collab with Revolution. I got this in a giveaway bag or free when you spend £30 palette. Free when you spend £30 on Revolution palette bag. I don't know. I got this for free. And this is the Maxinesca palette. And, you know, I wouldn't have bought this if I didn't get it for free. But it's quite pretty. I mean, that crystal shade is really nice, and so is the copper one next to it. The three shades in the middle are really pretty, so. And the highlight, blush, and the bronze are really pretty too. And so is Orchid. I mean, it's all pretty, but I wouldn't have bought it myself, so that's that. This is the You Are the Revolution palette, and I don't know, I think you got this for free when you spent a certain amount on Revolution, so this is what it looks like on the inside. There's like four shimmers and 4 mattes, but like 2 of those mattes are like slightly shimmery as well, so not a great colour story either, but that gold, that is gorgeous, so that's that palette. This is going to take forever. So this is the Brave Spirit palette. I got this one recently, and this one is all brights. I mean, you had a choice of like whether the palette was full of contours and highlights or eyeshadows, and I picked the eyeshadow palette, so this one's a bright eyeshadow palette. Again, a mixture of shimmers and mattes. I remember getting this palette, I got this one ages ago. This is when they hit 1 million, I think it was on Instagram. So this is what this one looks like on the inside. I think I had like 3 of these at one point because I had made so many orders spent over the certain amount that I just kept getting them for free, and I think like my sister and my mum have one. So this is what this one looks like on the inside. Just pretty purple, pink toned, slight brown at the end. And it was imprinted with like 1,000, as you can see on the pan, but I think I was just going through my eyeshadow palettes one day and I just started swatching it, so that's why it's a bit grubby, so there you go. Next I'm just going to go into the Reloaded palettes. This is the Reloaded Iconic Fever, and I think this is meant to be a dupe for the Urban Decay Heat palette, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. If you can't afford the Heat palette, then you may as well buy this one for £4. Also, the reason why it doesn't look swatched is because it's not swatched, and the reason why it isn't, actually that's a lie, it has been used, you can tell by this shade here, it's got brush marks, but I don't know, very nice. Again, I've got another dupe for the Modern Renaissance palette, and this is Iconic Vitality. Okay, I'm not going to bother opening it, you can see on the outside what it looks like on the inside, so that's what that palette looks like. This is the Reloaded Neutrals Free palette. It's a range of pinks and purples again. Got golds and bronzes in there, and very pretty again. Sorry if I sound like I'm rushing, but I'm just trying to get this done as fast as I can before my memory fills up on my camera. This is the Reloaded Iconic Division palette, and this is a dupe of the Anastasia Beverly Hills, what's it called? You'll see it once you see you'll know it once you see the palette. That palette. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. But yeah, that's a dupe for this palette. Sorry, this is a dupe for that palette. And the only shimmer it's got in this one is this one, and like that one isn't, it's not really a shimmer, it's like a pearl white with a hint of pink in it, so that's what that one looks like. I've also got the Foil Frenzy palette, the first one. I didn't pick up the second one. And I think this, yeah, oh my god, this palette's just full of those foiled shades that I said I'd like in more palettes, so I think I could use this more often. You know, very pretty. Would never get rid of that one either. This is the Reloaded Neutrals 2 palette. And again, very pink toned. This one's more orange. Bloody hammer. This one's more orange toned than purple and pinks, but still very pinky, so yeah. This is the Revolution Pro HD Amplified 35 palette. I got this from my dad for my birthday, but I haven't used it. But it's the prettiest out of all of the Pro HD palettes that they did, so I like it the best. That gold, actually I have used it, that gold is really nice. This is a palette you got for free when you spent a certain amount. I think it was like £12 in Superdrug, so the Pretty Rare palette. I've got more of these at my mum's house. I'm at my dad's house, so all my eyeshadow palettes are here, but I've got more at my mum's that I don't use. I mean, it's not like I use these ones, but, you know, I live here more often, so I'd like to have my palettes with me. That's what that one looks like on the inside. More purple, and it's got a highlighter and a bronzer, but you can just use them as eyeshadows. This palette is only here because I got it in a mystery bag and the clip doesn't work, so I think they're just giving people out free palettes that don't work or shut or don't sell. But if they were going to give me any of the free of these palettes, I think there's like Life on the Dance Floor After Party, VIP, and I can't remember what the other one's called, but this one's my favourite. But there's a gold one and a rose gold one, but the silver one's my favourite, so if I was to get a free one, I'm glad I got this one. Next up is the Makeup Obsession Warm Up palette. Like, I bought this palette thinking, after I get this palette, I'm never going to buy another palette ever again because it's got a gold in it and it's got a rose gold in it. But I was wrong. I'm sorry. The formula is rubbish, and actually, no, that's a lie. Swatching that's gorgeous. I mean, that one's a bit rougher, but God, look at that already. But yeah, that's actually a nice, just simple palette. Very good. This is the mini I Heart Revolution chocolate bar in nudes. So this is like a mini, obviously, to the nudes palette, the big one. So actually I really like this palette because it's like got that foil feeling again in this palette. So that's that one. This is the mini of the Rose Gold palette, and this one's called Rose Gold. Surprise. So I don't know if this one has that foil feeling. Yeah, it does, slightly. But that one's really pretty too. I'm just starting to scratch the surface with these palettes, by the way. Okay, so this is the Rocky Road palette. This released not that long ago. That's what it looks like on the inside. I've not even swatched this palette. I don't intend to, because if I don't use it then I may as well sell it, but it's very pretty and that pink is gorgeous. Oh my god, can you tell I'm obsessed with Makeup Revolution? So this is the Jewel Collection palette in Gilded, and that has those foiled shades on the top and the little pans on the bottom. I absolutely hate the circle pans. Makeup Revolution entices me more with their palettes when they're square, but I don't know. It's still really pretty. And it's not about the shapes it's not about the shadow pan or the shape of the shadow pan. It's about the pigment and the colour. This one is the Jewel Collection in Opulent palette. Getting rid of these slips. And this is more pink toned. I think I was like on the internet looking for Revolution, and I got one thing, and then I think I just had to complete an order, but I had an amount left that if I'd spent that amount I could get a free mystery bag, so like I spent the money on this palette and got the palette mystery bag thing. So I wasn't even done with the Revolution palettes, and my camera ran out of storage, so I'm using my iPhone now, and this is the Dream of a Vision palette, and this is from Makeup Obsession. I don't actually like this palette very much, but I got it on a whim. I had money in my pocket and I wanted to buy a palette, so I bought one. This is the Revolution Rainbow palette. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed, and that's what this one looks like. I've done a video on my channel using this palette. It's very colourful, it's got a few greens in there. It's very pigmented, I really love that purple. And the shimmers in here are very, very good, like that Liberty shade is amazing. Next palette is the Forever Flawless palette in Ice, and that's what this palette looks like on the inside. This This phone is actually better than my camera. It doesn't even unfocus. But that's what this one looks like on the inside. Everyone has made videos saying that it's a dupe for Jeffree Star's Blue Blood palette, but you know, if you don't have the blue blood, you can get this, and it would probably look the same on your eyes. And plus, this one has like bronze shades, so it's really pretty. That immersed shade is really nice. Next Revolution palette I have is the Decadent palette. Sorry, I'm having to open this one-handed. And this is like just a plain neutral shade palette. You know, nothing great to say about this palette. I have all these colours in other palettes, but if you need a neutral palette, that's one you can just reach for, you know. Sticking with the Obsession theme, this is the Makeup Obsession. Oh, it doesn't even say because it doesn't have like any print on it whatsoever. But this is a Makeup Obsession palette, you know? Used it once. So this is a Revolution palette in Utopia, and again, this shade, Imanur or Inamur, and Dreamer, and Zen, Enchantment or Enchanted, they are wet formulas, I think. I mean, I would try and show you, but I've only got one hand, so lovely chins there. But yeah, that's a nice palette too. Revolution Pro Smoked palette. Bought this because of the hype. Well, actually, no, not all because of the hype. I don't ever use smoked eyeshadow palettes, so I thought, why not give it a go? And Aroma and Tremble, and especially Fuse, they're really nice shades, so I really like that. This is the blush palette. I used this on my channel 2 videos ago. Really liked it. If you want to see what I thought of it, you can click on that video. So that shade, love it. Absolutely love it. That's the Passion palette. It's a bit more out there than the others. It's got more glitter in it, but that shade Aura and that shade Sham and Spoil, you know, very good shades. So looking forward to using that. Here's the star of the show that started all this, and this is the Luxe shadow palette in Nude Neutral. I think they're all actually called Nude Neutral, but this is the original, and it is a dupe of the Huda Beauty Nude Nudes palette, so very pretty. Now I've just got 3 personalised Makeup Obsession palettes. This is all glitters. You can get them from Boots, £250, put it into a palette, voila. This is my mattes palette. I think I've got 4 shimmers on the bottom. Never used them, but that shade there, I think it's called Cinnamon. Cinnamon, yeah. If you were to get this palette, or these shades, sorry, I'd really highly recommend Cinnamon. It's kind of like Makeup Geek with the popping in the shadows and stuff, but very good shade, Cinnamon. Another matte shade with only 3 shimmers on the bottom. Nothing special to talk about this one. But just another Makeup Obsession Make Your Own palette, and I think that's the shade Cinnamon again. Nothing to say about this palette. Got it for free in a mystery bag, but that gold and that shade, these shades above it, again, they're that foiled. They are that foiled formula, so very good. On the eye, so that's the Mermaid's Heart palette from My Heart Revolution. So this is the Dragon's Heart one. I bought this one voluntarily, and this one's got gold in it too. Don't ever use it. I feel bad for saying that about my palettes, but they are my pride and joy. I like to hold them there just in case, and powders don't really go off. And even if they do, unless they smell weird, I'm going to keep them. I don't know how I forgot about this palette because it's like my favourite one, but this is the Rose Gold I Heart Revolution Chocolate palette, and just that shade alone, that shade, like give me that in a single, right now. It's that Rose Gold shade. I freaking love it. And that too, gold one. It's not looking so great, but this one is like 4 years old nearly. So this is the Revolution One True Love palette, and it like moves about on the front. It's very cute. It's very pink. This was the most me palette of the 3 of them. There's a green one, a blue one, and the pink one. Actually, no. It's not blue, it's purple. So there's a green, a blue, sorry, a green, a purple, and a pink one. And yeah, I really like this one. Although I don't think I've used it. I swatched it, but I haven't used it. If any of these palettes that you see on my bed, you want to see me use in a video, then just just let me know. Got all those sheets. So this is another one of those palettes, and this one is called Snow Globe. Oh, or is it a Snow Globe palette in Arctic? Yeah. And this one looks like this on the front. This one I think came out just before Christmas. So it's not been used in like 3 months. This is the EYN palette in Bright, and it's the name palette. I got this for free. So I've got the bigger one as well. So really like the look of this one. I would use this. This palette I have tried to sell. It is the Marvicorn palette by BH Cosmetics, and this is what it looks like on the inside. I got it from TK Maxx. It was there, I saw it, it looked nice, so picked it up. Nothing special about it. This palette is one of my favourite ever palettes, literally because of that shade, Sunburst, right there. I wore it to work once, and I looked in the mirror. It has a reflective blue on it, and it was just so shimmery and so bright, and I just loved it so much. So I think I might do a video on this palette and use the shade Sunburst on my lids. So that's what it looks like, the Aha Honey palette by Colourpop. Also, it's like $12 to buy in America. I paid £26 or something like that for tax, for shipping, for customs, and for the palette even to get here. So Colourpop, come to the UK please. This is the Main Squeeze palette by Colourpop. I literally just bought this on Depop. This was £18. Oh my god, no. It's smashed. That's my fault though, it didn't come smashed. It's because of all of the palettes I've been thrown on top of it. I'll fix that. Pop it to the side. If you were to ever ask me what my favourite palette was, it would definitely be the Mitchell palette, the Me, Myself and Mitchell palette with Beauty Bay. I just absolutely love it. I take it everywhere. If I know I'm going to need makeup, I take this one because it's got the warm side and the cool side, and it's portable, and it's got a mirror, so I love this palette so much. If I had to get rid of all these palettes and just leave one, I would take this one. This is the Riviera palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Did a video on this one. This was the first video I ever done, so this is what this palette looks like. That's what this palette, I can't speak. That's what this palette looks like on the inside. It's kind of neutral, it's kind of half out there, but you could take it out and about with you. It's still neutral enough. Tartelette and Bloom palette. This is also up for sale on my Depop. If anyone wants it, you can have it. It has been swatched. But anyway, this is a really nice palette. It smells of chocolate. It does need a bit of a clean. But yeah, really nice. This is the Chocolate Gold palette by Too Faced. And the shimmers in here are amazing. Like, amazing. And I think that shade, Chocolate Gold, has real gold in it. But Rich Girl, that kind of sealed over as well. Oh, by the way, I used this palette on my sister and New Money and Living Lavish, that pink and purple. They were crap, like no pigment whatsoever. So they're kind of like nearly hit and pan because I had to dig in so hard. But the rest of the palette, absolutely amazing. So this is the Makeup Academy or MEA Burning Embers palette. Got this Superdrug. Really like that shade there. So that's that shade. I've got two Lorac palettes. Got these off eBay. Don't even know if they're real or not. But this is the Lorac original, and this is like the more rose palette. I don't know if it's even safe to use on the eyes. I might just get rid of this. That undiscovered shade is starting to come out of its pan anyway. Might just bin that. And then this is the Lorac Unzipped Gold. This one is so much better. And that Unleashed and Unlimited shade. Very pigmented, very gold, very nice. This palette I only got last week, and this is the LA Girl Pro palette in Mastery. So that was like £15 or something like that. It was very cheap. And I just love the packaging of it. and it's got the names of those shades on the back. This is another palette I bought from TK Maxx, and this is the Royal Affair palette from BH Cosmetics. I've never seen a shade like that crown shade in a palette before, but I still need to use this palette. So another palette I've got from Anastasia Beverly Hills, like look at that mirror though, is the Soft Glam palette, and this is one that I use on friends if we're going on a night out, or like I don't ever go on a night out, but if we're like practicing makeup or something. So this is the palette I always use on them. And as you can see, I've not actually taken the brush out of the packaging, but the brushes are actually really good. So yeah, I'd recommend this palette as well. That gold, bronze, and that gold called bronze, and that rose pink shade, amazing. I think it does have a bit of kick up though. So this is my warm spectrum palette from Zoeva, and this is a pretty bland palette. I mean, those four in the bottom left look exactly the same, but they're not. And that shimmer is stunning. So I think I might just do a video on all these looks, on all these palettes. This is the Naked Original palette. I got this absolutely years ago, and the brush is missing. The shades have hardly been touched. Like everyone who shows this palette on their eyeshadow collection videos, they're like, oh my god, I've hit pan on Buck or hit pan on that shade, but I've not hit pan on any of them because I just spent tons of money on eyeshadow palettes and never even touched this one. So it's even got the velvet. I think they either repackaged this or stopped selling it or something, but this is the very original. Similar to that Makeup Obsession palette, I got this NYX Perfect Filter palette because I thought it's got those perfect browns that you need, and that rose gold, that's my favourite colour, and that gold in there, and that's all I'll ever need. But I've not reached for this palette for a very long time, so I kind of want to give this away to someone. So next is the Paradise palette from Barry M, and that's what this I keep getting tongue tied. And this is what that one looks like, or that is what this one looks like. And it's just a clear lid, and it's got duochrome shadows in it. I think I've been afraid to use this palette online or on my YouTube just in case it doesn't perform well. Like that yellow and that blue, I don't think they'll be that pigmented, but that's what this one looks like. And I also like the Treasure Chest one. The colour story, that one much better. I did a video on this palette, you've seen it. If you don't know what I think about this palette, go and look on that video because I can't be bothered. It's rosy toned, it's pink, and it's nice. I'm not going to swatch any of these because one, I have only one hand, and two, I wanted to sell this on Depop, but again, it's slightly used. But this is the Natural Love palette from Too Faced, and it's really neutral, but it's also kind of pink and kind of rosy tones. So actually, I might keep this and use it for like bridal makeup if I ever like get into that field. So this is the Naked Heat palette. Need I say no more? Need I say more even? I've already made that mistake tonight, and that's the packaging on the outside. I really want the honey one, but wouldn't use it, you know I wouldn't. This is the Cocoa Blend palette by Zoeva. How many shades are in here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 nice shades. This is a pretty, this is a really pretty everyday palette as well. You can barely read the names of the shades, but it's really nice. I'm not going to get these palettes out of their boxes because they're pretty much identical. But this is the NYX Ultimate. Both NYX Ultimate. I think it says on the back. Warm Rust palette at the top. And it's got like matte, and then a shimmer, and then like a foil. And then that's just the plain one that everyone loves. My only Primark eyeshadow palette, I got this because it looked nice. I still have to test it out on the eyes, but those shimmers are gorgeous. Look at how they reflect. My god, this was so cheap as well. I think it's a collab with, what's her name? Jenna Frooms. I wish I could say last but not least, but I've still got a few more to go. This is my first ever chocolate bar palette, and it's still going strong. I still need to, I'd like to use this palette again, so maybe I'll put this in the playlist for going back into my old palette videos and use this one. It still smells of chocolate. Although that the chocolate bar palette is really good, this one is actually my favourite, and I don't know why. Like, that pink isn't any good. I would never use that pink again. But that shade, that gold shade, and that bronze shade, absolutely stunning on the eye. And I also love that peanut butter shade. Kind of like that cinnamon shade in the Makeup Obsession palettes. This is the Sweet Peach palette. My mum bought me this for Christmas, like 2015 or something. I think Too Faced discontinued it, and then they started reselling it, and there was a big huge hype over it. So I was like, Mum, get me that for Christmas, please. And like, you can see that I've gone in with that shade Candied Peach with a wet brush. Like, it wasn't even wet. Like, even that shade, just peach. Like, I'm sorry, but that they don't pick up. So I'm kind of disappointed about that, but it smells like peach. So this would have been eyeshadow palette collection without a Jeffree Star palette. So as you can see, this is the Blue Blood palette, and I think this wins for best packaging in my collection. That's what it looks like if you haven't seen it. And if you haven't seen it, where have you been? Next palette is the Blue Bloods palette. It's the Blue Bloods little sisters. Blue Blood palette's little sister, Blood Sugar. I also love, see, can you see a theme? I love the rose gold shades. And I also love Candy Floss. And, oh, see that donor shade. Stunning. I like a red palette too. Next is the 35F. I think it's like Fall into Frost palette. And I got this off eBay. I think, yeah, I got this off eBay, so I don't know whether it's a fake or a genuine, but I don't use it anyway. So anyway, if I was to get makeup, if I was to practice makeup on people, I wouldn't use this palette because I don't know whether it's real or not. But for myself and for practice, yeah, I can use that. Remember I said I had a big palette of that Bright Mini from Beauty Bay? Well, this is it here. Absolutely stunning. I hate when I say it like that. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, I would use that on other people, on myself, in a video. And look at that sweet escape shade. Like, oh, look how foily it is. Like, some of these are foily and then some are just shimmery. But that is a gorgeous palette. Next I have the Going Out palette, and the only mattes in here are in the top and bottom corners. So pre-drinks, hangover, feel the base, and access all areas are the only shimmers in here. Mattes, sorry, and they're all like browns and blacks and whites. But this is a really nice palette. This is the Identity palette, I think. Identity palette, yep. And this was the first one I got. I got this for Christmas like 2-3 years ago. So I like this one. This is the Stacey Marie Makeup Artist Be Perfect Cosmetics palette. And I think I used this once in a video for that Christmas look video. It's got every colour you could ever think of in this palette. It's even got the neutrals on the side. And it's got 3 highlighters down this side. And I'm going to be doing a collab with Chelsea J. Murray. Please check her out on this palette, using this palette, and we've already picked out the colours for it, so keep an eye on my channel to see that. We've only got 3 palettes left, thank God. This is the Morphe palette, and it is called the Artistry palette, I don't know. But, what's her name? Lethal_kitten has done a review on this palette, and I really think you should check it out. But this is really pretty. Next is my baby. I absolutely love this palette to the moon and back, especially the shade Snack. See, what is it about me with rose gold shades? And I love the shade Lemon Drop, and I love the shade Cherry Wet. And I think my recent video is using this palette, so check it out. Last but not least, I have the Morphe Hit the Lights palette that I got for Christmas from my sister. This was in collaboration with 4 makeup artists and Morphe, and the shades in the middle, you know, stunning ones. Look at those glitters as well. Yeah, they're all like putty feeling again, so like foiled shades. And yeah, I absolutely love this palette. And the packaging is so gorgeous. So My arm is killing me, but that is on my palettes. Like, oh my god, look at the slips. Look at all of the palettes. I need to put back in their boxes and put back in that drawer. And then my ring light is there. And then these are the ones I started off with, and I just threw them back in the drawer. I've just realised I've got more palettes, and it's these ones from I Heart Revolution. If you really, really want to see what they look like on the inside, then just go on the I Heart Revolution page and type in I Heart Revolution donut eyeshadows, because I really can't be bothered opening them. But you can see that like the yellow one's golden toned shadows, the brown one's like bronze and stuff. This one's like more reds and dark pinks, and this one's more light pinks and purples and stuff. So if you like this video, then please consider subscribing, leave a like, comment which palette you'd like me to use on my eyes in the next few weeks, and thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.